we have all these beautiful dogs, but dog health is also important. So with us is...
I'm Dr. Ann Hohenhaus. I'm a veterinarian at the Schwarzman Animal Medical Center, which is on the opposite side of Manhattan Island from where we are today at the Javits Center.
And tell me about what people should do for their dog and their health.
So we're doing an Ask the Vet booth here today, and probably the best question I've been asked is, how can a dog owner help find cancer early in their pet so it's more treatable? And I gave them 3 things. First, their pet needs routine, good physical examination by their veterinarian every year. And if their veterinarian is not doing a good physical exam, maybe that's not the veterinarian for them. The second thing is that they should not ignore their pet's changes in behavior. So sometimes people say, oh, my dog is old and it's slowing down. Well, that's a reason to go to the veterinarian, because just being old is not a disease. And then finally, when you go to the veterinarian for a physical exam, that veterinarian is going to look for things like weight loss or a lump or bump. And then you need to act on those as directed by your veterinarian. And so that's the kinds of things we're talking about today here at the Schwarzman Animal Medical Center Ask the Vet booth.
You know, I have an older dog, and it gets those fatty, what are they, fatty tumors?
They're called lipomas, fatty tumors. It's the most common skin tumor of the dog, and they're annoying because they can look like other kinds of cancer. And so that's why your veterinarian needs to look at every single one of those fatty things and make sure it's not something sinister.
Because one of them's getting really big. Now, I just had her to the vet, and he said eventually it might seep out, from her laying on it. It might seep out some of
Well, sometimes if a dog lays on it, then it will get a sore on it, a pressure sore, and then that would be a good reason to take it off. So most of the time, we don't recommend taking fatty tumors off of dogs, but sometimes they get to be huge, and they impede a dog's ability to walk. And I actually wrote a blog, which is on our website, which is amcny.org, and talked about taking off some of these big fatty tumors. So if you go to our website and put in the search bar, fatty tumor, you can see some of these tumors, how big they get and why we need to take them off.
Hers is about that big. Now, he wasn't keen on, he just said when it starts to seep, we'll do
That's
something.
right. We don't remove them unless they're causing the dog a problem. And if it's seeping and oozing, I say that's a problem. Sometimes they occur in the dog's armpit, and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then the dog can't walk because there's this thing in their armpit. And so that would be another reason to take a fatty tumor off.
You know, I also saw something here, and this is about poisonous foods to your dog.
Yeah.
So
This is a little magnet that our USAN Institute for Animal Health Education has developed, and it goes on your refrigerator. Hopefully you have a fridge that it will stick to, and it tells you about foods that your pet shouldn't eat, like alcohol when you're having a Super Bowl party, other things like garlic, chocolate. Chocolate is the #1 reason dogs come into our ER and get admitted for eating stuff that they shouldn't eat, is chocolate. Big problem in dogs because dogs have a sweet tooth.
Oh, do they? Because mine doesn't seem to take to that at all. Chocolate.
Compared to cats, dogs have a big sweet tooth.
Oh, do they?
Yep.
Oh, so chocolate, deadly.
Chocolate is really a problem. And then grapes and raisins are another thing that are in a lot of households because people that have dogs often have children. And grapes and raisins are great healthy treats for children, not so good for dogs, and they can cause kidney problems in dogs.
You know, every so often I get liver and onions, but I take the onions off. If it's cooked with an onion or anything, is that bad for the dog? I mean, I'll cut it up. I don't give my dog that many table scraps. I do chicken, those roasted or whatever chickens, I'll cut up a little bit. I do Pro Plan myself. I do Bright Minds because somebody said over at Pro Plan it added 3 years to their dog's life, and my dog's on that end. And but if it's cooked with the liver,
I don't think you would want to give your dog onions or garlic because there's a compound in the onions and garlic and scallions and shallots, all those types of related vegetables, that causes destruction of red blood cells and can make the dog really sick.
Well, if you take all of it off,
I think if you take the onions off.
because I never.
But the worst case I ever saw was someone threw out the liver and onions leftovers, and the dog ate it all from the trash can and then came into AMC very, very sick. So you got to pay very close attention, because even if you don't feed your dog, sometimes they help themselves.
Oh, I had once that happen with the chicken. I walked out, she ate all the chicken, all the bones,
Yeah,
everything.
full carcass.
I thought, oh my land, she's gonna die.
Yeah.
But she made it. I don't know how she did it. And so now I just.
But chicken bones, pork chop bones, spare rib bones cause enormous problems in dogs. And so best to keep all bones away from them.
And just to end, and this really isn't maybe your area, when people are going to pick out a dog, to find a dog, where do they go to get a dog? I keep telling this story, my Facebook got hacked, and would you believe they tried to sell puppies? And my cousin came to me and said, somebody wants to buy one. And I said, oh my gosh, report it right away. This is not me, and I hope they didn't send a deposit.
Well, I think that if you're looking for a dog, you want to go to some place where you can talk to people who have those dogs. So coming here to Westminster, there are lots of beautiful dogs, and you can talk to people who own those dogs. Meet the Breeds, which sadly is last weekend, is another opportunity to meet people who own purebred dogs and talk about them. And then the AKC website has a dog finder, like an app, and you put in what kind of family you have and where you live, and then it gives you some suggestions to help you narrow it down. And then, of course, getting a dog at a pound is a really good thing to do to help those dogs not be destroyed if they can't find a home. And they're wonderful dogs to have at the pound.
Do you think the pound is, some people say just the pit bulls are there now? Or do you think that's true? Or?
I think it depends on the pound. I think in New York City we have a lot of pit bulls in our shelters. But the other thing is, if you're interested in a purebred dog, there are rescue groups for almost every purebred dog as well. And there are things online like pet finders and smaller rescue groups that have wonderful animals that need homes.
Thank you so much. You've been so informative. I'm sure our audience will love it.
Thank you, and have a great time at the show.
Oh, my favorite show of the year. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm Kristal Hart reporting from the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show here in New York City. Hope you've enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching.